So it's time to bring to you October Part 1. Now, my time restrictions with what's happened recently has been blessed this beginning of the month with certain easy completions being made available in the store, popping up, and what has to be the easiest completion of the year by far. So easy. If you can press A loads of times, you're in for an easy 1000. I will get to that later. Also blessed with an easy completion from the Neo Geo range popping up in the Windows 10 store. So thank you for that as well, Microsoft. We'll get to that later as well. So with that, let's go into the games and indeed crack on and tell you what I've been doing to get my Gamerscore in the first half of October. And of course, if you've seen these videos before, you know I like to do them in chronological order. So I started them up playing this Baja Edge of Control HD little racing game, which I picked up cheap in a sale. It looked fun, and it is fun to be honest with you. I've seen the 360 version in gameplay only and not played it, but I saw this and I thought, you know, I can pick this up. There's only like £3 in the sale and give it a little bash. Now, some of the achievements in this are super easy. You'll pick loads up without really even trying. I just started the career mode, and when I finished the first race, I had like 30 or 40 G. Let's go down and have a look and see what they were. Yes, I completed that without leaving the track, because you can actually go off the track and carry on without it, you know, costing you any time or any penalties. And I managed to finish that first race without flattening a tyre, and then I won it as well because I just played on easy. So yes, you'll unlock loads of achievements at the start for doing random stuff, completing an entire race without leaving the track. I then focused on doing that in the second race that I had, and made sure I didn't bump into any other cars, so I got no damage as well in that race. And then I would advise that on the third race you make sure you win that as well, because that is the easiest 3 races, obviously being the first 3, and you can get that hat-trick achievement there as well. I must admit, I was approaching the end of the race and I was in second. I thought, dang, okay, pause the game, and there is a restart option, so if you know you're not going to win the race, you can just pause and restart it. Key factor in this game, make sure you keep on top of your upgrades as well. You earn plenty of credits, so make sure you keep upgrading. Finished first place in any league during your career as well, and I did that in the first league too. Now, I'll say there's loads of other stuff here, like you'll learn how to do that, you'll learn how to do that, and then we've got these achievements here which I saw when I read the achievement list. Baja 250. They even tell you that race is going to take about an hour. So I did it. If an achievement's easy enough, I don't care, I'll do it. So I did that race for an hour, that was fine. Come first place in any race mode, I think I did in that, and that counted towards that as well, so I got 2 for the price of 1 there. Using the handbrake at least 5 times in one race, that's just tapping Y and releasing accelerator, so that's super easy. So loads of these little random achievements you'll pick up. Finish the race without any body panels attached to your vehicle, so yes, do that in the Bajas, they count, so just bash into a loads of stuff and the panels will come off. The Baja 500, they do quote as taking 1.5 hours, again, I was told it was easy, so I did it. That didn't actually unlock straight away, so I ended up doing it twice, which took a lot of time. And it unlocks at a later date because the pop-up never came. So I don't know, this is buggy, and some of the achievements have delay pops, so be careful of that if you do go for this game. Right, achievement of top speed of 120, roll your vehicle at least 3 times. That all happened in this Baja 1000, because I would say I read the achievement list, and for completing the Baja 1000 is an achievement, and then it says there's another separate achievement for doing the trophy truck. So, you know, you'll see the dates match. Yes, I did do kind of a 2 for 1 there. You know, they both unlock if you race the trophy truck, so I did that, and that goes fast enough. Over 120, I think it's the only set of vehicles that do, and I rolled it at some point. I had an accident, it rolled over loads of times, and that will only generally happen in this vehicle because it goes fast enough. But you might get lucky and roll one of the crap cars, you never know. But yes, I completed it, so that was like a 100 G for what is a 3-hour race. Like I said, if it's easy, I will do it. It does quote, it does tell you that on the screen. It says this will take 3 hours. This is a separate mode within the single sort of race mode, so this Baja mode. So yep, it was about 2 hours and 45 minutes. It actually took me all time, but you can pause, have a break, go for a wee, whatever, have something to eat, make yourself a cuppa. Did do all of those things, so I would advise that too. And then every time you do the career mode and you unlock a class, there's an achievement tied to it. And I must admit, when I didn't realise that there were late pops, I popped this, which is the class above 4x4, and that had unlocks, but it had unlocks and I didn't know, and it unlocks at a later date and time, which was really strange. So I think the achievements are buggy in this, but it's a fun little game, I've got to be honest with you. And I think I stopped playing it because I thought the achievements were bugged, and they popped at a later date, so I still may return to it. It's a fun little racer, I've got to be honest with you, but I wouldn't spend too much money on it. Okay, so that's that one out of the way. Next up we have One Night Stand Console Edition, a Ratalaika game special. Like I said, I was blessed with some easy games popping into the store for not a lot of money. think this one was like £4 or £4.49. It's like 50p off. Basically, you bought it for a certain time. But anyway, sidetracked here. The guys at Achievement Land, who make fantastic guides, did a guide on this. So just a couple of little things that you kind of need to know that weren't included in the video, but the video is still bang on as to what you've got to do. There is one certain ending where it crashes and brings up this big white screen. I made the mistake of quitting out to the main menu and starting again, and then it happened again, and it happened again, and that ending was finished for me. Wasn't there, even though I had seen it. What you have to do is, in the bottom left hand corner of that crash screen is the word ignore. Click on that, it will take you back to that screen and it will have registered as an ending. The other thing that I kind of screwed up on, but it wasn't in the video. The video is great, don't get me wrong, but the one thing they didn't say in the video is, if you're picking answers and the cursor is on the right hand side and it's like you need to pick the far right hand side option, move over to it, click it, it picks it. Now then you need to pick the far right hand side option again, click on it, and it picks it. But what the game wants you to do is actually, you need to move the cursor, even if it's in the right place and the answer is below it, and you haven't moved it since you pressed the last one. You need to move it, otherwise it will register the far left hand side. I hope that makes sense, and you'll know you've moved it because the edging around the right answer will go all squiggly and movie. So I got caught out on that, and I was racking my brains as to, right, I'm clicking on it, why am I not getting the right ending? Why is it not moving on to the next set of questions that the guide says it is? And that was just because you do need to move the cursor every time you pick an answer, even if you're already hovering over the right answer. Just something else I would throw in there. But as a completion time, I think their guide was under an hour's long, but allow for a little bit of following time and just call it an hour to an hour and a half completion using a guide. If you do not use a guide, this will take a long time to discover all the endings and where you need to move around the room. So that is where the achievement guide from the guys at Achievement Land, who make bang on guides, did make the bang on guide here. Okay, so above that, I thought I'd clear a little bit of the backlog, and I started playing Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and I put it on veteran mode because generally there are achievements tied to veteran mode, or at least finishing the campaign on veteran mode, and they stack all the difficulties. So that's what I'm doing. And I've got to be honest with you, although I've only finished 4 levels, I think, each of them giving you a 25G achievement for finishing them, it's got to be up there at the moment so far with what I played of the easiest veteran campaigns so far of a Call of Duty game. So, but I haven't got to the later levels yet. I've unlocked a couple of miscellaneous achievements along the way. I tagged more than 10 people with a threat grenade. You'll probably do that by accident, or you'll get that one at some point. It's an achievement for killing someone with a car door. Now that one is not too difficult at all. Basically, every now and again, they're quite sparse, but they do pop up a couple of times in the early levels. A car door will be sort of open on a derelict, smashed up car, and it'll give you a button prompt to actually pull the car door off and sort of use a shield and run forward. Basically, when you see an enemy in front of you, press right trigger to sort of throw that car door forwards, and if it hits them, it kills them, and that's an achievement too. There was one for getting a certain amount of points in a trial area, sort of where you're testing your abilities to shoot targets in certain places, and getting the top bracket scoring in that, which was like 2,000, and I managed to get it after about 3 or 4 tries. I kept restarting. So that was the other miscellaneous achievement. But so far, as I say, the veteran campaign is the easiest I've played so far, and I hope it stays like that, and I really should crack on with doing that campaign and getting the achievements out of it. I'm not looking to max this one out and get the completion, but I'm certainly looking to get as much out of it as I can and see how easy it is to get as much out of this as you can. And as far as Call of Duty games go, with it being so futuristic, it doesn't feel like one. It almost feels like if they didn't call it Call of Duty, it would be regarded as quite a good game. Actually, it's quite enjoyable, but it's just not a Call of Duty game, even though it's got the Call of Duty name. But yep, I'm actually quite enjoying it, to be honest with you, more than I thought I would do. Okay, next game, and this is the one. This is the easiest completion of 2019 by far, and as soon as I saw that it was just basically reading a book, I thought it has to be easy. I've done my research, and yes, you literally just have to press A. I've done a little video on it and how you can set up it in a way to make it quick, because if you don't set it up, I mean, I think you can just press A and it'll take you about an hour, but if you tweak a certain few things in the menu, you can actually make this be done between 20 minutes to half an hour, which is what I did. I mean, if you want to read everything, which is basically what it is, it's a book, it'll probably take you about, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. It will take a long time to read it, but if you just mash your way by pressing A after you press all those settings, you can probably set it up in a way that will get it done in 20 minutes to half hour, like I say, and I've done a video on it which will show you how to do that, so please feel free to check that out. I've also then since learned, I actually did include this in the video as well, you can actually set it up in a way to skip through the pages without actually having to press A. You can actually, but it will take longer because the text will have to scroll all the way through, whereas if you tap A twice, the text will fully reveal and advance by pressing A a second time. So I've also explained in the video how you can set that up, so you can actually like put your controller down while you have dinner or something and leave it on in the background for X amount of time, and you'll get the job done without even actually having to play it. And leave it overnight, wake up in the morning after, and all of a sudden you've got an extra 1000G for doing not a lot at all. It really is just 1000G of the year. I don't even know if it's the quickest. I think there was one that was a 15-minute completion earlier this year, but that required some skill and not just pressing one button and reading. So yes, please check that video out as to why it is so easy. Above that, I did say that I was be hitting my mobile games because of having to work a hell of a lot, and doing that I revisited Microsoft Word. I think in the last video I said I was very close to doing 12 worlds in the basic main story mode / campaign, and I did get that done, and that's a 100G achievement, and I kind of blasted my way through in it, making sure I was picking up enough stars along the way, and all I have left in this now is to get all the achievements to do with collecting so many bronze, silver and gold medals during each month. So I need to play each month for quite a while, so that'll take a little while yet, but I can mess about with the clock, I do believe, if I really want to, but I'll just keep on top of that and try and pick up the medals now throughout the months to get the completion out of this game eventually. So an extra 100G thanks to whizzing through those 12 worlds. Okay, now I haven't actually played any or got any extra Gamerscore out of this month. This has been sitting as a completion for a very long time. Everyone knows Streets of Rage. If you enjoy Streets of Rage, this is an easy completion. I'll just throw this in there even though I haven't gained anything out of it this month. It'll probably take about 4 or 5 hours just to go on what you need to do. So it's Streets of Rage. It's so much fun. It's got Streets of Rage 2 on there, which is probably one of the best side-scrolling beat-em-ups, if not of all time, on there as well. I did a little video on it because I'm doing a series on my channel now called Fighting with 5 Lives, where I'll take a popular side-scrolling beat-em-up and see how far I can get with only 5 lives. So please do feel free to check that out. And I'm encouraging people to do video responses, which I've had 2 people do, and because I just want to get people playing old games basically as well and enjoy the passion that I do. So yes, please do feel free to check that out and perhaps have a go yourself. Right above that, I must have accidentally pressed on this, that's all I can say. It's reminded me that I need to go back to it because that 20G is just sitting there with so much more that I can get, and I remember getting that 20G in about 15-20 minutes, but I do need to return to it, so I must have accidentally pressed on it. I haven't actually played any of this at all. We've got Super Box Land to make above it, which is Rattle Like a Games throwing another easy 1000G for us all to get. I remember having half an hour before I had to leave for work one day, and I thought, well, I'll make a start, and in that half an hour I got 720 out of the 1000, which just left 3 achievements to go, and they were finishing like 30, 35 and 40 puzzles. And I came home, and within half an hour more I had finished it and got the full 1000. You can play it on the easiest mode. There are many a random thing that you will need to do, so just check the list out first, and once you've got the hang of the mechanics of the game and how these puzzles work, you'll probably fly through it in no time at all like I did. Easy completion. Will take around about an hour mark, give or take a bit. So yes, super easy. Thank you Rattle Like a Games for throwing that out. Above it we have ACA Neo Geo Cup 98, the road to the victory for Windows 10. Wow, that's got to be the longest name in gaming history. If there's longer names, please feel free to tell me in the comment section below. Go for it. But I remember this being easy last time round when it was just on the Xbox One, and when I added to Windows 10 my laptop can just about handle Neo Geo games, so I whipped it out and got 1000 out of that in no time at all. The caravan mode is just scoring 3 goals, so 1, 2 and 3 goals are all achievements in that. It's not too difficult, just pick Brazil. Honestly, once you get the hang of scoring a goal, you will whiz through all of these achievements really in no time at all. Did have a little trouble in high score mode, get to that in a minute, but yeah, I've got 3 goals in caravan mode first time round. No trouble at all. I tend to find if you use the shoot button and nothing else, that would help, because the shoot button is also the low pass button, And when it comes to tackling, do not use any of the tackle buttons. Actually just run into people. That will make it a lot easier to win the ball without giving all away fouls and having the ball bounce off into other places and not necessarily stick with your player. So high score mode is 1, 2 and 3 wins. First game, no problem. Second game, yeah, that was easy enough. Third game, I drew 0-0 first time round, so I had to do it again. Won that third game, and then after that, you've either got to win the game or lose the next one to be able to register high score. You'll need to do that, obviously, to get the register high score mode achievement. Again, pick Brazil. Most of these Neo Geo football games, that tends to be the way forward. And then when you get to the original mode, you can crank the time limit down to save on time. I think you have to pick I forget the name of the tournament, but the tournament that's top of the list, because there's enough games in that, because I think you have to do 2, 4 and 6 wins. But yeah, I can't remember. I think, that is, it's 2, 4 and 6 wins to get all the achievements out of this game, and then you'll either need to lose the final or win the final. You might as well win it if you can, to be able to register your high score in original mode as well. Again, pick Brazil. What I did is cranked it down to level 1. That made it super easy. Cranked the time limit down to 1 minute just to make it quicker. I think in one case I was drawing 0-0 at about game 5, and then instead of choosing penalties, I chose the sudden death option and was able to get a goal in that time, which got me through that. If you do lose a game, it doesn't negate your win streak, so you can just keep on trying. It's within the 1 to 2 hour bracket, this anywhere in between that, with a little dependency on skill, but it's not the hardest football game by a long shot in the Neo Geo collection. So yes, I can pass this one off as an easy completion, to be honest. So above that, I've actually been playing a bit of FIFA 19. I know 20's come out, but I bought this very early on because a mate of mine finally bought an Xbox One. I was like, oh, get FIFA, I'm buying FIFA, we can play each other. And can you imagine how many times we've now played each other? It's 0. So I remember picking off a load of easy achievements when I first got it anyway, in no time at all. You just read the list and set it all up. I've still got ultimate team achievements to do, so I can get some out of this. And I thought I'd start the journey basically, and I scored a goal with a left foot volley against Coventry when you have to be Alex Hunter's granddad just for that one game in the past. Basically, it will keep taking the corner until you do that. So that's a little 10G achievement I picked of it. And I played it for a little bit with Alex Hunter, unlocks a mentor challenge, and then won the mentor challenge by keep retrying it. And that was another 10G achievement. But I just thought I'd return to this because I can pick it up and play it when I've not got a lot of time. When I've only got half an hour, which is happening a lot at the moment, I can just play a little bit of FIFA on a very low difficulty setting so that it's not going to slow me up by losing. And that's what I've done. So I'm probably going to finish the journey and then get some ultimate team achievements out of it. So you'll probably see this pop up in the next few videos where I've just been chipping away at it because I haven't got a lot of time to play a game, and you can just squeeze the odd 1 or 2 games in FIFA in a small amount of time. That I do have. And then above that finally is Gears Pop, and we'll go into this one to finish off with, to show you the ones that I've unlocked or added to it, because you can probably get a lot of these achievements quicker by paying to play, which I don't condone at all. And as you'll see by the dates here, I reached play level 10. I won 100 versus battle without losing any of your outposts. If you work on your team and get a nice little setup, that becomes quite easy-ish in the end. I decided to go target this achievement because I saw it sitting there, win a versus battle with a squad consisting of only common rarity pins. Now I lost about 4 or 5 in a row because I reckon you should go from this one from the off when you're in the bottom league against similarly leveled players with not a lot of cogs. But I decided to do it when I was on level 10 and in a toughish arena with experienced players. But after a streak of losing with a squad of only competence, I was able to pick it off, and I think I just got lucky because the person was having connection issues, but I got my achievements. I'm sorry, not sorry. I decided to target this one as well in a game. I think I even managed to nick the game as well. So yes, we're not here to sell cookies. That's a little bit of an Easter egg for a previous Gears, if you know your Gears. And I've now been promoted 3 times in arena or league. That's what it says. Yes. So I've got that one too. But as I say, mobile games are a great way for me to add Gamerscore at the moment with my restricted time at home due to having to work a lot. So ladies and gentlemen, this does bring me to the end of what I have unlocked in the first part of October. So thank you for watching firstly, And I always say this, but if you have any questions about any game, just want to talk to me or say anything, please do it in the comment section below. I encourage you to follow me on Xbox Live, but please don't message me there. Message me here. I read them all here. I will answer them all here. I generally don't have the time if I'm on my Xbox to even look at the messages on there, and I've got to be honest with you, a lot of the time I don't for ages, and I read it a week later and I'm like, that's awkward. So please, any comments in the section below, feel free to like the video as well. That will help me out greatly. And if you're not subscribed to my channel already, please consider doing so. If you are, hit the little notification bell, and that'll let you know every time I'm dropping a brand new video in this series and many of my other series that I am now doing. Then that just leaves me, I think, to finally say thank you for watching, and as always, take care.